week we continue cataloging every ship in Star Wars with Attack of the Clones. And I do mean every ship, even the obscure ones. If I can figure out what it is, it goes on the list. And we have no time to waste because there are a lot of them. I'm Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and this is every ship and vehicle in Attack of the Clones. The movie starts with now Senator Amidala approaching Coruscant in my favorite Naboo ship, a J-type diplomatic barge, also known as a Naboo Royal Cruiser. She is escorted by a squad of Naboo N-1 starfighters. They fly past the numerous nondescript pixel blobs that make up Coruscant traffic. Upon landing, the barge is blown up. Fortunately, Padme was secretly in one of the N-1s instead. Everywhere we go on Coruscant, we see more ships and airspeeders. Most of them are completely unidentifiable, and I won't bring them up again, but sometimes they are clear enough that they can be figured out. For example, after Padme's meeting with Palpatine and the Jedi Council, Obi-Wan and Anakin's elevator is passed by what I believe to be a GABA-18 speeder. Later, we meet Zam Wessel, who uses a Koro-2 Exodrive all-environment airspeeder built by the Desler-Gish Outworld Mobility Corporation. After her droid delivers 2 venomous worms to Padme's bedroom, Obi-Wan dives out the window and takes it for a ride. During his flight, he passes dozens of Hiroti Corporation Easy Ride passenger airspeeders, as well as many other airspeeders I couldn't identify. Anakin steals a Narglatch AirTech XJ6 airspeeder to go rescue him. He could have also chosen a J12 twin pod airspeeder, a GABA-18 speeder, or this other unidentified airspeeder. After rescuing Obi-Wan, Anakin narrowly avoids crashing into the Ultima Vista, a Giga-class transport. This luxury liner was essentially an autonomous cruise ship on a permanent voyage through the skies of Coruscant, with most passengers living their entire lives on board. Later still, Padme and Anakin make their way to the spaceport aboard a GoCorp Magna Line 3000 Airbus. Once there, they board a Bottijeff Shipyard's AA-9 freighter liner named the Gendirian Valley. When they arrive at Naboo, there are several interesting ships waiting for them. On the far left side of the port, there are 3 YT-1300 class light freighters. Next to them, on the lower level, is what appears to be a heavily scaled-up Gallifrey Yards Tailander shuttle. It is missing the little fin in the back, but the shape roughly matches otherwise. On the right side is a CEC Action 6 bulk freighter. They then board a Naboo speeder bus to take them to the Royal Palace. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan takes a Kuat Systems Engineering Delta-7 Aethersprite-class Jedi Interceptor to Kamino via a Transgal Meg Industries Silure 31 hyperspace docking ring. He gets absolutely soaked in the rain, but back on Naboo, Anakin and Padme stay dry in their very Kino workshop Brinko-class speeder, a custom-made gondola built by the resort they are staying at. After being subjected to the worst flirting ever put to film, we go back to Kamino, where Kenobi encounters a Kaminoan observation ship and several KE-8 Enforcer ships on his tour. Later, he also finds Slave 1, Jango Fett's Kuat Systems Engineering Firespray 31 class patrol and attack craft. He manages to throw a tracking device onto it, and it departs for Geonosis. After Anakin has a disturbing dream about his mother dying, he and Padme fly to Tatooine to rescue her in an H-type Nubian yacht. At the Mos Eisley spaceport, they pass another Tailander shuttle, for sure this time, and the Crate's Honor, a Gozanti-class freighter. Outside the docking bay, we see a Sorosub V-35 courier land speeder as well as several droid-mounted rickshaws. Padme and Anakin ride in one of these, and are passed by another V-35. After a brief battle in orbit, both the Fets and Kenobi arrive at Geonosis. On landing, they pass by several Trade Federation core ships, Techno-Union Hardcell-class interstellar transports, and Commerce Guild Diamond-class cruisers parked on the planet's surface. We will get a much better look at all of these later. Back on Tatooine, Anakin and Padme meet Anakin's stepfather Cliegg Lars, who is in a hover chair after losing his leg to the Tusken Raiders who kidnapped Shmi. Anakin sets out to find his mother on a Zephyr G swoop bike built by Mobquet Swoops and Speeders. He stops to get directions from some Jawas, who have 2 Corellia Mining Corporation sandcrawlers. The next day, in the Lars homestead garage, we see some kind of triangular craft. I haven't been able to figure out what it is, but it looks cool. It is possibly supposed to be a T-16 Skyhopper, as Wikipedia states that is in this film, but it looks nothing like one. They also have some kind of land speeder hiding in the shadows as well. As the Senate votes to give Supreme Chancellor Palpatine emergency powers, we see hundreds of the repulsor pods used in the Senate building. After Padme and Anakin travel to Geonosis and are captured, they are loaded into a Geonosian executioner's cart, which takes them to a ceremonial gladiatorial arena. They are rescued quickly by a Jedi task force, who are nearly defeated by the droid army before Yoda arrives with the brand new Grand Army of the Republic. They are brought into battle by several Rothana Heavy Engineering, Low-Altitude Assault Transport Infantry gunships, or LAATI for short. These gunships are deployed from Acclamator-class transgalactic military assault ships, also built by Rothana. After fleeing the arena, we see a daylight view of the core ships and hard cells we saw earlier. The Republic deploys many all-terrain tactical enforcer walkers into battle, dropped off by LAATC tank carriers. The Separatists have tanks as well in the form of the Bactoid Armor Workshop OG-9 Homing Spider droid and the Heor Chal IG-227 Hailfire-class droid tank. Despite their size, these are droids rather than vehicles, but they were worth a mention. We can also briefly get a glimpse at the Diamond-class cruiser in the background as well. In the Separatist Command Center, we see a hologram of the Death Star, which the Geonosians had started designing. Newt Gunray and the other leaders of the Trade Federation flee in his Sheathipede-class shuttle, the Lapis Cutter. Count Dooku also flees the scene on his Flitnot speeder bike built by the Hoopla Passa Tisk Shipwrights Collective. He is escorted by 2 HPTSC Nantex-class territorial defense starfighters. Back on the battlefield, 4 Rothana Heavy Engineering self-propelled heavy artillery turbolasers take down one of the core ships. Then Count Dooku arrives at his personal hideaway, where we see his yacht, an HPTSC Punwarka 116 class interstellar sloop. After he makes his escape, we see a fleet of Lucrehulk class battleships, including one in the process of docking with its core ship. After he arrives on Coruscant, we see dozens of Acclamators being loaded with clone troopers and LAATs, the final ships in Attack of the Clones. And that's every ship and vehicle in Attack of the Clones. Did I miss any or teach you about one you had never noticed before? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you next week. RFC, out.